Look cute.
Yeah, we do. We look the same.
I only got glasses because I wanted to look smart like you.
You didn't need glasses, honey. You look smart before you had glasses.
Really? I thought I was really dumb.
Yeah. Is that nice?
Guys are so bright and colorful.
Was that a nice thing to say to you?
Flamingos.
That was a really nice thing.
Can I get late tonight?
Probably not.
Okay, good. Hey, everybody, how are you? You know we're live. Hey, everybody, it's Jeff Gelman of Solid Canine Training. We got some special guests. You'll probably hear them be rudely talking in the background because they don't respect my art form.
No respect.
But it's Heather and Julie, and you'll see them all week long at my shadow program. And welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. If you're brand new to my world, my name is Jeff Gelman of Solid Canine Training, and I'm a dog trainer, business owner, seminar speaker, and I travel the world doing seminars. But I do have a training location in Providence, Rhode Island. We specialize in behavior modification and aggression rehab. So I do a lot of stopping unwanted behaviors. So I do a lot of stopping unwanted behaviors. We obviously can train dogs to do a lot of different basic obedience and advanced obedience. We are family pet dog trainers, but now is a good time to start asking your questions. So you want to put your questions in your chat box below. Without your questions, we don't have a show.
How did you make that black?
It's the way it was. It's just the way it is. I have no idea.
Is it this?
I wouldn't
No.
I wouldn't fiddle too much, so you need to be able to see your questions.
So
So now is a great time to ask your questions. The reason why I do this show for the last 10 years or so is because we get daily emails from people, and a lot of people are struggling out there with their dog training questions. If you're brand new to my world, if you're brand new to this show, you're going to hear me talk a lot about punishment. And the reason is because the only way to stop an unwanted behavior, which is what most people ask me. So if you're watching these questions pop up, what you're going to see is you're going to see, Jeff, how do I stop? And then fill in the blank. And the only way to stop an unwanted behavior is through punishment. Now, punishment needs to be defined a little bit better. There's actually a proper way to punish the dog. You're not mad. You're not angry. You're not upset. You shouldn't be. It's just what you did was wrong. I don't want you to do that again. Then you can actually start training the dog what you want. A lot of people, what they're doing is they're using obedience, though, to fix an unwanted behavior. And that never works well. That never works well. I'm very, very aware of the conversation out there about all the different dog training modalities. So if somebody wants to pop on here and try to educate me, unfortunately, you came to the wrong place. That doesn't mean I'm not open to learn things, but we've worked with lots of dogs stopping some pretty serious behaviors. So Linda, take it away.
this one is from Jake. My dog is entering heat. Can I socialize her with other dogs? Have you seen any fights or behavior issues while a dog is in heat?
Absolutely. So what I would do is, out of respect for your dog, would sort of like when your wife's that time of month for your wife, you like try to make her happy the best you can. And it's not, oh shit, it's not quite the same thing. But let's pretend for a while, a little visual there, right? So
I went for the arm so you guys could see. What I'm really going for is the...
So this is what I want you to do is, I would say keep your dog away from other dogs. It actually can start a dog training. You can actually start a fight, not even right in the immediate area. You can start actually a fight, out of the immediate area. Next question.
This one's from Heidi.
Hey, Heidi.
Oh, unfortunately, Heidi's question is incomplete. Heidi, finish your question.
Yep.
This one's from Jessica. In John's long line recall video, he talks about creating a bubble where the dog doesn't reach the end of the line. How do I communicate to come closer without having to commit to a complete recall?
So, Jessica, great question. So you can make your bubble anywhere you want. So chances are that wasn't the first time he did that protocol. So what you're doing is you're sort of telling your dog, hey, I don't want you more than 15 feet away from me. So what you're doing is you're often calling your dog back to you before it gets to the end of the leash. And that way your dog by default will start checking in and your dog becomes more situationally aware of you. So what you want to do is when you're out there training recall, you can literally do it every 5 seconds at the beginning. So your dog is sort of like always aware. It's like, I better listen because my owner might be calling me back at some time. Chances are the first time the dog got called back, once it was in an off-leash area, it probably was a pretty good considerable pop. Now the dog goes, oh, I get it. I'm working. And that will translate to off-leash obedience as well. Next.
Next is from Metro Detroit Auto
How
Detailing.
about Heidi?
Heidi did not complete her question.
Oh, can punishment ever be detrimental
Well,
for?
for
Okay,
what?
fill in the blank. Okay, so Heidi, if that is, there it is right there. Oops, for example, a very anxious dog.
There you go.
Okay, so actually, Heidi, if you properly, for anxious dogs, for fearful, anxious dogs, punishment is actually the magic to rehab. And a lot of people, it goes against intuition. They'll be like, oh my God, the dog's already anxious. Yeah, but you only have two options, reward and punishments. So you can't use a reward to stop anxiety. So you're not punishing the anxiety, you're punishing what the dog is doing physically with that anxiety, such as spinning around in a crate, standing up in a crate, pacing back and forth, breaking command constantly, but massive amounts of structure along with punishment. Now, that's not all you do, but that is the absolute missing link, especially with dogs with separation anxiety. The missing link with dogs with separation anxiety is literally holding the dog accountable. Now, if you want to lie down on a dog bed and be anxious and nervous, nothing much I can do. But if you're so nervous and anxious that you always are breaking command, that we can correct for if the dog knows the command. So we are not seeing, if you know how to do it, no. Lack of punishment is what's creating all these dogs with some serious bad behaviors. Next.
All right. Metro Detroit Auto Detailing. Does walking your dog build confidence for the dog?
I mean, walking your dog depends on how you walk the dog. So if you're letting the dog pull, go back and forth, left and right, if you're letting your dog determine the pace of the walk, the direction of the walk, it doesn't make it any better. So keeping your dog in a proper heel, which is usually at your side, pick your left or your right, but be consistent. You determine the pace, you determine the direction, no sniffing, no marking. And yeah, it absolutely builds a lot of confidence. That's one of the things. Absolutely. More freedom doesn't build confidence. Next.
From Tommy E. Hi, Linda and Jeff. It's me, Colleen. Love y'all.
Hey, Colleen. How
Hey.
are you? Love you.
Kyler, how do you correct a puppy's whining when they don't get their way, and how much do you chalk it up to being young?
Okay, Kyler, first you have to define puppy. So when some people say puppy, they're like, oh, it's 8 months old. That's not a puppy. That's an adult dog. In my world, the vet might say it's a puppy. This is the thing. This concept of, though, the dog doesn't get its own way. The dog should never get its own way. Bottom line, dog should never get its own way at all. So you determine what the life of the dog is going to be. So how do you stop whining? I can't stand whining. Now, what if the puppy has to go out to the bathroom? Agreed. But if you just let that dog out to the bathroom 5 minutes ago, it peed or pooed, it doesn't have to go back out. It's whining because maybe it wants to get out of its crate, maybe it wants attention. The worst thing to do is let it out of its crate and give it attention. So how do you correct a whining dog? You can whining puppy. When I say puppy, we're talking probably 6 months and under, but even like 4 months and under. You can start correcting whining at 12 weeks old. Because if you don't, you're reinforcing it. Now, a lot of the stuff you hear online will never correct your dog before 6 months because you'll ruin the relationship. So, I mean, again, I'm aware of all this stuff. No, you won't own that dog till 6 months if you don't stop some of this stuff. The number one reason why people give up their dogs is pre-1 year old. And they always give up the dog, not because my dog doesn't sit, not because my dog doesn't down. They give it up because I can't stop my dog from doing fill in the blank. So that's why people give up their dogs. And it's not because they're bad owners. It's not because they're bad dogs. It's because they didn't have the proper information to educate themselves. So whining is ridiculous. So is barking. Next.
Thanks, Heather, for the compliment. This next one's from Tiffany. I know that you are known all around the world, but when you were just starting out, did you ever tell a client, I'm not your guy, due to the client, not the dog?
I still say that to this day. Next.
Kingdom One. Hello, guys. How can I stop my bully from digging holes in my backyard? Thank you.
Okay. Perfect example. How do I stop my dog from fill in the blank of the bad behavior? Dogs digging holes, number one, can destroy your yard, can destroy your expensive landscaping, but also can dig out under fences. Remote collar on your dog. If you're not familiar with a remote collar, people also call them shock collars. Now, we always recommend Dogtra e-collar technology, Garmin. For punishment, sport dogs are great. They run a little bit hot for us for the way we teach basic obedience. We prefer e-collar technologies or Dogtra. So good quality quality shock collars are not going to be like the cheap ones you find, for $50 and under, or even $100 and under. Shock collar or remote collar on the dog, whatever you want to call it, where you're most comfortable with. Dog starts digging a hole, you make it suck to dig the hole. Yes, you're making it uncomfortable. Oh, Jeff, you use pain to train a dog? I absolutely will apply a proper uncomfortable punisher to stop a dog from a behavior which it might end up dead. Absolutely. And anyone that says that they don't probably can't fix an unwanted behavior. They're probably full of shit, and they're probably lying to you. Because, and I say this so strongly, is because there's this whole conversation out there that you don't have to do that. No, try putting water in the hole. You have a muddy dog. Try putting the dog's poop in the hole. You have a freaking dog that smells like shit. If it was that easy, I would suggest it. But it's not working. It doesn't work. Meanwhile, in 3 seconds, it works. Next question.
This one is from, I've lost it here.
Tommy E.
Tommy E.
Yep.
We used our e-collar on our vacation. Our GSD, 9 months old. She was awesome. Got tons of compliments.
Tommy E, proud of you. Bam, fist bump. Let's use it all the time.
And
Don't
it
wait
looks
for
like
the vacation.
The question might be continued.
Okay.
But I don't see it yet.
Okay, go to Jake.
Jake, my dog in heat seems a little on edge on walks, more inclined to sniff or react to noises. Is this a common behavior?
Jake, I actually wouldn't walk your dog in heat because dogs will, 2 miles away, dogs will break through windows of homes, go through screen doors. They will jump over fences. They will dig under fences. They will they will leap out of car windows. I would actually keep your dog home, always supervised when it's in heat. Next.
Jessica. New family member's dog staying with me for 4 weeks. She's not used to a crate, but I crate all my dogs. She whines a ton. Do I ignore? I do hit the top of the crate and she stops for a minute. That's
Okay,
it.
Jessica, number one, I hope you're being paid for this. Bottom line, family or not, 4 weeks taking care of a dog, cash, money, vacation home, restaurant gift certificate, jewelry, clothing. You make.
I just,
you make,
know what I want. So I just want PayPal.
PayPal, cash.
Yeah. Basically.
Cash. So people always ask me during the holidays, "What'd you give Linda?" I paid her money. And people, guys, I'm doing it.
It's freaking true. It's true though.
So people always go, "That's not thoughtful." Hey, Linda, what do you want for Christmas? Cash. It's the most loving thing you can give somebody is money. Let her buy her own shit. So this is what you're going to do. You tell me, do you want for the next 4 weeks to have a whining dog? If you do, try to ignore it. What I would do is I'd walk in, quiet, hit the top of the crate, make a bonker. It's at work. Bonker, wrapped up towel, no, throw the bonker.
What do we only own one towel?
Yeah,
and make bonker?
Well, no, I know. Stop. Next.
Jessica again started my 2 dogs on a prong collar this week. It had worked wonders. Thank you for all you do. It has changed our walks.
Jessica, I'm proud of you. And this is the thing about prong collars. If you're brand new to prong collars, of course they look barbaric. I've never seen one hurt a dog in my life. I've trained over 4,000 dogs, over 2,000 dogs at seminars. Millions of people watch our videos. The photos you see online are fake. They're false. I've never seen a dog harmed in a training situation on a prong collar. And a lot of people will say, well, you have to learn how to use them right. Duh. But guess what? Most people are using them right. And even if you sort of used it not right, you're still not going to hurt your dog. You know what hurts a dog? A slip collar, a martingale, a flat buckle collar, harnesses. Those cause body issues, even if they're used correctly. Dog could choke itself out on a martingale. Next.
Okay, here's the rest of Tommy E's. She was more well-mannered than other dogs. We went to places that didn't want dogs in there, but we called her a service dog in training, which she is and was accepted. Your videos have done so much.
Awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Tommy, I cannot encourage you to be breaking laws. But thank you so much. I'm so glad. I'm so impressed. Nice.
This one's from Robin.
Yes.
What would you do with a dog that is fine on leash and can walk past people without a problem, but will snap if someone reaches out to pet him? I don't know what that means.
He's at a rescue. Yep.
So we're trying to get him adoptable. Oh, okay.
Okay. So Robin G, Number one, you have to dummy proof your dog. Meaning, I don't let people pet my dogs, ever. And my dogs are social. My dogs would not snap if you try to pet them, but I'm trying to change the way that people interact with dogs. So what and having more people pet the dog is not going to get the dog more used to people so it snaps less. It doesn't work that way. The best thing to do with your dog is to get people not to pet it. So you've got to educate the consumer. You've got to educate the owner, the new owner. Many dogs don't like people reaching out and petting them. They just don't. So are there dogs out there you can do that with? Absolutely. I own some, but I still don't let people pet them. So this is an ideology, philosophy, lifestyle answer where I'm like, don't let people pet the dog. Now, how do I get a dog like that adopted? Agreed. How do you get a dog like that adopted? There's counter conditioning protocols that you can do. The bottom line is if a dog snaps at somebody, you've got to correct it. But I'd rather advocate for the dog and be like, hey, no, you can't pet my dog. Now, in a training situation, can you work on that? Absolutely, we do that. But I would never, ever, ever let a stranger, and everybody's a stranger to your dog, maybe not to you, but to your dog, pet my dog. Next.
Oh, Tommy E., thank you very much for the hair compliment.
Awesome.
Jay Hamlin. Hi, Linda, Jeff. On working through reactivity, a non-negotiable as far as I'm concerned, the idea is a valuable / high-level stim on e-collar, even with no e-collar conditioning, than a reward?
On reactivity, not on a leash. No, not on a leash. So we don't correct for obedience high until we've trained the dog. So digging in a hole is different. Digging a hole is different. So if your dog needs to properly learn to walk on a heel with a remote before you start exposing it to reactive situations, that's not fair. So it's not just about pushing buttons. So what you need to do is first train the obedience on the remote so it understands it. Then you can use it as a punisher. Next.
From where are we?
Tiffany.
I know it's going to be dependent on the dog, but is there an age that you introduce a prong collar and an e-collar?
Actually, it's not that dependent. 14 weeks old is usually early enough. When you're using it you're not using it as a punishment though. You're using it as a training tool only at that age. Next.
Haley, creating a positive association to the leash and collar to a 2-year-old Lyme, shuts down on walks and runs when she hears the tags on her collar. Thank you.
So Haley, take the tags off the collar. Seriously, take the tags off the collar. And what I want you to do is it's going to be a food protocol. I want you to look up my video. It's called Rupert, R-U-P-R-T, collar, Rupert collar conditioning, maybe it's called. Go into my YouTube channel, type in Rupert in my search box. It should pop up. And I want you to do it's a clicker food protocol. It takes a little bit of time, but also what I want you to do is put a slip lead on that dog and then grab the collar so your dog can't run away. Every time your dog is successful running away, technically you're reinforcing it running away. So first, slip lead on the dog. So now you got a leash on the dog, and then you're going to start training to put the collar on the dog. Next.
This one's from Jessica. Another question. My dog understands break perfectly during drills. When he is on place for an hour or more, he doesn't always get up. Is that okay? I'm worried he may think he's self-releasing.
So if you're going to say the word break to your dog, all right, you need to reinforce it. It is a command. So what do? Leash on the dog, have them come off, and then 2 minutes later, if they want to go back, let them go back. Next.
Kingdom One says, laughing my butt off. Thank you, sir. I will be purchasing an e-collar.
You're welcome, Kingdom One. Thanks. I actually really appreciate you being here. I really sincerely do. Next.
This one's from Keith. Hello, both. We take our 6 month. Hello, both.
Yeah, forget about that part.
I don't know what the next part is.
Start
I'm
at
like so freaking confused.
Start at we.
We take our 6-month-old lab pit mix. How is it best to ensure that he stays next to us and doesn't run away because of the excitement? She loves the water and loves people. We do use e-collar.
Okay, so Keith, what I want you to do is if you're already using the e-collar and you're concerned about your dog running away, it's possible that you haven't trained e-collar heel and e-collar recall yet. So again, the last thing I want you to do, first of all, if you're concerned your dog's going to run away, keep it on a leash, even a long line. Just keep it on a long line, have it on you, but we want to make sure that your dog is able to stay in your little bubble, okay? But also we want to make sure your dog has great recall. That's what we want to make sure. So if I'm concerned about a client dog, that's why you see, even in our videos, you'll see, say us at say Chase Farm, and we're practicing off-leash recall. The dog is still dragging a long line. Even us, we are not interested in just all of a sudden giving that dog with no leash. Why? Shit happens. Dogs can run away. Like that right there was just a firework in the background. It's possible that like a dog will run away, a car backfires, a bicycle goes by. There's all kinds of stuff. Kids go running by, skateboard. So what I want you to do is have that dog on a leash first, and I want you to work on making sure that dog knows to stay in your bubble. Next.
Okay. This one's from Katrina.
Hey, Katrina.
How do you correct a 16-week-old puppy with FOMO to be quiet in a crate using a remote collar?
It's 16 weeks old, 4 months old. I wouldn't use the shock collar yet. What I would do is I would go up to the crate and I would say no and bonk the top of the crate, or I would say no and throw a bonker at the crate. Don't you quite use the remote collar for punishment for whining in a crate. Too young. Next.
Jessica says, I am being paid, LOL.
Damn right you're being paid, girlfriend. Nice.
Okay. From Heather.
Hey, Heather.
I've been watching your videos for guidance, and I have finally achieved an off-leash heel. I couldn't be prouder of my dog, a 16-month-old Esky.
Nice.
He has come so far. Thank you.
Heather, see, this is the thing. I've been doing this for a long time. Got answers. Big fucking deal, right? And information is not key. I get a lot of folks that ask me the same questions over and over. And you can, if I recognize it, I'm going to call you on your shit just to let you know. And if you listen to my enough of my stuff, you've seen me like literally yell at people like, I answered that question last week. I'm not changing my story. But the application of information, you guys are the freaking heroes. You guys are the superstars. I'm just like sharing knowledge. You're applying it. So kudos to you. Next.
Michelle says, cash is always the right size.
That's what I was
Damn
like.
right, sister. Damn right.
That's right. You got that in my size?
Mm-hmm.
I sure do.
I like the bigger sizes
Yeah.
when it comes to PayPal.
Right. You
All
want your cash to need liposuction.
Exactly. Okay. Lisa, my Malamute has been showing fearful behavior towards little boys after being punched in the face by one.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't want this to turn to fear aggression since children run up to her even when I say no.
All right, so Lisa, you've got one of those dogs that everybody wants to pet. And who's the little freaking shit asshole that punched your kid in the face? Hopefully you tripped him as he was walking away. Here's what I want you to do. You're going to come across as a jerk. And I'm being serious here. Let me have a serious moment. It's a major problem. It's a major problem out there with not just children, but with adults running up to dogs. So you've got to advocate for your dog. And number one, children are also like no child. Like that's a parenting fail in my not your parenting fail. That's a parenting fail. If Angelo ever ran up to a dog, I wouldn't punch him in the face, obviously. I would let his mom, she's Italian, she'll take care of that. But what I would do is there would be a serious consequence for my child for endangering his safety, but also the safety of the dog. So what you're going to have to do is you've got to literally have your dog pull a little bit behind you, step in front, and you literally say, stop. And if the parent says anything to you, feel free to give out some a-hole parenting advice on the spot. I just saved your child from getting bit. Maybe not from this dog, but from another dog. And you're probably going to get, well, you shouldn't have your dog out if you can't be trusted. And it's like, hey, lady, you should have your freaking asshole kid out. You know, I don't say that, but you know what I'm saying. Next, advocate for your dog, push your kid away. Just to let you know, I got a big mouth, obviously. When I train dogs, it's silent. So don't talk even close to as much as I am when you're working with your dog. If you ever actually watched me work a dog, I'm actually silent, calm. It's not like this, but I have to be like this because it's an entertainment outfit. So if you're brand new to my world, because I don't think you want to hear me go, when somebody walks up to your dog, this is what I want you to do. It's like,
See, I would love to. Oh,
next.
this one's from Stan.
Hey, Stan.
Hey, Jeff, I got a new Dogtra 1900S, an upgrade from the cheaper one I had. My dog does very well on the e-collar. How do I know when I can trust him 100%? So far, so good. You guys are awesome.
Oh, Stan, that's a rough one, man, right? So 100%, especially on recall. I owned a dog who had great recall, Uma. And I know, Uma, when you said here, she would turn so fast, she'd almost keep going in that direction that she was headed while she was trying to run back to me. She blew off 127 on a Dogtra 1900 chasing a deer. Blew it off. She had incredible recall. And I switched up how I trained a little bit after that, but man, you don't know. Like, look at us, right? Like, the only thing I've ever done 100% is I've been sober for 27 years. Haven't even thought about having a drink. But I'm trying to be a good wife, and
You are?
I'm trying to be a good husband to my wife, and I still have my dick moments.
No comment.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? So it's like, we're working on it. We're working on it. What's 100%? So how do you ever know? I don't want you to think negative, but it's like, take it slow, buddy. Take it slow. But I'm proud of you for doing the work. Next.
I always love a good Uma story.
Yeah, I know. There'll never be another.
Oh, don't make me cry.
I know.
Victor. My
David.
dog whining in car. He is in crate. Gets a little nervous in the car. How to make the whining stop. That's
So,
tough.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Remote collar is going to help that, because you can't turn around and, bonk the dog. I don't want you to turn around and give the dog a leash pop. What I would do is I'd make sure your dog is, if you've got room for a crate your dog. If you don't have room for a crate, have your dog do a downstay, but a remote collar is going to stop whining. All right, next.
This one's from Frank. How does a martingale collar harm a dog? I thought they were better than a flat collar.
Great question, Frank. Frank, if you're the same Frank that is up in Kelowna that I met, actually, I think you're from Victoria. Thanks for jumping in on the show. And if you're not, thanks for being here anyway. Remember, it's if you look at the patent of it, it's called a limited choke. That's actually the definition of a martingale, which is a patented device. It's called a limited choke. It literally chokes the dog like this, so it creates pressure flat against the throat. So that's where the damage happens.
Is part of it leather and part of it chain?
No, it could be, but it's more about the action of the collar. So a prong collar, as barbaric as it is, actually was designed to prevent harm to the neck area. So that's how. Next.
Robin. Can you use an e-collar on a dog for the out command without layering?
Yeah, we do all the time. Next.
Kaylee.
Hey, Kaylee.
Is it okay to have one dog sleep in a crate at night, the one with behavioral issues, but allow the one who doesn't sleep in place in the bedroom? He is 8 and never slept in a crate.
Kaylee, your house, your rules. If your dog that sleep, first of all, from a not fair to the dog thing, get over it, right? Angelo, he just went to bed. It's 8. My other 2 daughters, they can go to bed sort of like whenever they want to, right? So different dogs, different rules, different kids, different rules. So with your 8-year-old dog, it's not about if they've never been in a crate before. No separation anxiety, fine. No resource guarding, fine. No protective behavior, fine. Let them sleep in your room. It's on you. It's fine. Next.
Chevy.
Hey, Chevy, what's up?
Love the glasses, L. Thank you. Fear aggressive. What's W? Working line, GSD. Getting really good response with e-collar corrections, but she whines a lot. Should I correct for that now or let it go until reliable when seeing dogs?
Don't let it go now. Don't wait till she sees dogs. You want to address it ASAP. Next, because when she starts seeing dogs, it'll be harder to stop. Okay?
This one's from Keith.
Hey, Keith.
How about if the dog loves people and kids and loves to be petted by everyone? Should I allow that or stop everyone to come over? She's 6 months and I want to do what's best for her and safe.
Okay. So this is the thing, Keith. You're walking down the street with your dog. Your dog's in the front yard. You're at the beach. Your dog sees other people, other dogs. It runs across the street and gets hit by a car. It loves people so much. Your dog is good with people. You got that. Sounds like you did a really good job of socializing. Now, your dog could change at 9 months old, 12 months old, 18 months old. There's different periods that it goes through. What I do is once my dog is, I also want to be everything to my dog. I actually don't want my dogs to be interested in humans or other dogs. It's just lifestyle stuff. I want to be the number one thing for my dog. So what I would do is I would spend more time right now becoming everything to your dog, and you could always give up a little bit. but always give your dog something. But I'd be super careful about that, because if I don't want your dog coming up to me, or I don't want your dog coming up to my dog, and you're yelling that your dog is friendly, but my dog might not be, and my dog might be on a leash, or my kids are afraid. So what I want you to do is I want you to sort of become a selfish dog owner. So that's just my lifestyle stuff, but that's also, I've seen it go bad with overly friendly dogs. So what's going to happen is your dog could be on a leash, so excited to see people, it goes ballistic on a leash. That I see a lot. Friendly dog looks like an attack dog, though, because it wants to get petted by other people. So just be careful. I'm glad that your dog is friendly with people right now, though. So that's cool. Next.
This one's from Pam.
Hey, Pam.
We just lost our 10-year-old Wheaton to brain cancer.
That fucking sucks.
My 7-month-old Labradoodle has really regressed with training and is lost. Anything I can do to help?
So, Pam, yeah. So, number one, dogs dying sucks. It just does. They never live long enough. The cool thing is that there's so many dogs that probably would love to be in your home. That's the cool thing. It's possible that your dog is responding to your grief. It's possible that which makes you normal and the dog normal. What I would do is I would really work your hardest. Also, coincidentally, dogs at an age where it's sort of like going, we really don't care about you anymore, mom and dad, or mom and mom, or just mom, whatever your situation is. I don't want to listen to you because I'm sort of finding my own. So what I want you to do is step up your training and wait until that dog's about a year old before you decide to get another dog. Don't get another dog too soon. Easy for me to say, but I also listen to my own advice. So I had to put a dog down about a month ago, and I'm in no rush right now to get another dog. I've had many dogs pass in my life, and what I've done is I've been like, just hold on. All right, next.
From Jessica, thanks guys for all your help.
Oh, you're welcome.
This one's from Dana. Any tips on acclimating a 9-week-old puppy to crate? I let her cry it out at night, but she tends to soil the crate even though it's the right size. I've never had this most trouble with the crate.
So Dana, puppy raising, man, it's hard. Hopefully you're prepared. Oh, it sounds like you've had a lot of puppies. So what I want you to do is this: monitor its food and water. So if your home is climate controlled to a reasonable temperature and it's not 100 degrees in your house, like it has been in our house the last few days, take away the water at 6 o'clock at night. Make sure your dog goes out 2 to 3 times before it's potty time. But you're going to get up in the middle of the night. So if you're going to probably get up at 9 weeks old, you're going to get up every 4 hours. So take away the water at 6. Make sure the dog goes out at, say, 10. Right now, you're probably going to make it till about 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. But you're probably going to get up at least once, if not twice. And then that'll go back down to, 1 time. So it's not just the size of the crate. The dog's only 9 weeks old. So it's going to soil its crate. It's going to have accidents. So don't put anything fancy in there. Actually, with us, we actually don't put any bedding at all in a puppy crate. It's got a clear plastic tray. Why? You're just going to be doing laundry left and right. So have cleaning supplies ready to go so you're not getting frustrated. Accident, dog comes out, spray, wipe, clean up the dog. If you have to put it in the sink or hose it off outside, just, get it done with. So be prepared for a lot of soiling and a lot of sleepless nights right now. Next.
Katrina says, thank you.
You're welcome.
Tommy says, I want to thank you both for all your vids and advice. We really are using her as a service dog because I'm handicapped.
Oh, awesome, Tommy E. Good. Awesome. I wasn't implying you were breaking. Well,
yeah, you are.
Maybe you were implying. So anyway, no disrespect. I apologize. Next.
Smart Dog School. Excellent humility. We love watching you guys. Keep up the good work. You're helping both dog owners and professional trainers alike. We truly appreciate you.
My pleasure, Randy. Randy, you got a Skype to schedule, so love you, buddy.
Tiffany says 27 years. Jeff, I'm proud of you.
Thanks. I'm proud of me, too.
Weird, because I didn't know you any other way.
I know you've only known me sober.
I've only known you
Thank
sober.
God.
Thank God.
We wouldn't be together.
No, we wouldn't.
Yeah.
From Cheryl. Hi, Jeff and Linda. Loved RV Dog Trainer in Collingwood. Had tons of family over this weekend at the cottage. Told everyone to just ignore Rory and don't pet him. No issues and well behaved.
Cheryl, first of all, it was fabulous to meet you. And I fucking love that town. I went down into the tourist area. Not that I like the tourist area. It's like, how many freaking Collingwood t-shirts do you need? By the way, happy Canada Day. But boy, is it nice there. And Josh and Justina are just the most awesome hosts. So great to meet you and glad you had success. Next.
Okay, this one is from Holly.
Hey, Holly.
Yay, didn't miss the Q&A. Waiting for my luggage. Just landed in Phoenix. Missing T3 awesomeness already.
I know, Holly.
Can never get enough knowledge and now ready to start applying. Thank you so much.
Holly, was great to finally meet you. That's Holly from T3.
Yep. Hey,
Yeah.
Holly.
Lisa. Aha, I love your answer and have so much respect for you and your team and your program. We've had many wins since following your advice. Next step for me, becoming an asshole.
Lisa, I make it easy. Don't worry.
I was going to say you learned from
I was
the
gonna
best.
say that's Linda's line. Go
I
ahead.
don't say that at all. I
Yeah.
just go like,
Yeah, you're just thinking, hey, don't be doing
oh,
that.
sorry. And then you say, I know you're number one.
What the fuck?
Shh, don't say what the fuck.
I don't want this.
Sorry,
I don't
you
want this
guys.
show to be banned.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
No, like I won't be able to monetize this. Nothing. All the
Oh, you're
advertisers are
dropping
gonna leave.
F-bombs left and- Okay, all right. Sorry, guys.
Go.
Sometimes I can't control myself.
Go.
Jessica. Neighbor's dog is snotty, pushy, and gets his way. Recently developed resource guarding and blocking the door when you try to leave. Would it go away with structure and teaching the out command? Curious.
So neighbor's dog. Well, hold on. So are you trying to help the neighbor, or is the neighbor's dog guarding your door? If you're trying to help the neighbor and they're asking for help, then give it. But if not, stay out of it. What I want you to do is this. You guard the door. Think about it this way. Like, what are you kidding? Like, you gotta be joking you're guarding that door. Get the heck out of there. Remote collar, you make it suck to guard the door. End of story. Make it short and sweet. Next.
Okay.
But hold on, but you can give that dog as much structure as you want. You have nothing to lose, but until you address proper punishment for the guarding, it will not go away. Next.
This one's from Siobhan.
Hey, Siobhan.
Should have asked you this today and don't want to forget. Can you briefly touch on when a dog takes off right after coming to you after hear command and reward? Am I praising too soon? How to correct?
Can you briefly touch on when a dog takes off right after coming? Oh, yeah. So recall the dog and then put it in a sit and then release it. You have to teach it the break word, the break command. So, yeah. So you call the dog back to you. Call the dog back to you. What's the chit chat in the back? You want
What's
to
that to?
you have some comment? I know it's a shadow suit.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to write in my question.
Yeah. So you know who she is. Come on, make sure you write all your questions down and ask me though.
Yeah.
So your dog's blowing you off. We can role play it. We can role play it tomorrow. Absolutely. Next.
This one's from Ashkin.
Yep.
Hi, Jeff and Linda. Love you.
Hey, Ashkin, love you too.
Love you too. Fake. My dog has never had a bite history, but can sometimes be dog dominant. Should I muzzle condition her when taking her to the lake in case we run into other dogs?
So Jake, it doesn't hurt to muzzle condition your dog, but as far as muzzles go, I like Baskerville muzzles. Those are the muzzles that you can actually have on a dog for long periods of time. They can drink water, eat, breathe, pant. So it absolutely wouldn't hurt whatsoever. But also you also want to correct that dominant behavior. Next.
Kaylee, what do I do if both dogs soil and chew blankets in their crate despite being trained and going outside prior to going in?
So Kaylee, what I would ask you is, if you didn't have blankets in there, would they soil? If the answer is no, they wouldn't. You answered your own question. No blankets. Next.
She also says, I'd like to get a one-on-one Skype. Do you still offer these? I have lots of questions.
So Kaylee, that's actually how I make a living, believe it or not. So I own a dog training center, and it keeps a lot of people employed. And obviously, yes, I also, generate revenue from that to support my family. But how I personally make a true living is actually by charging for all this information that I'm putting out there. But you get a longer answer. So yes, I would suggest joining my Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/solid canine training. And at certain levels, you actually can get a 15-minute or 30-minute Skype, or just go to solidcaninetraining.com, and actually go to our services and actually just schedule a Skype. So yes, that's what I do for a paid service. Next.
This is from Becky. Hi, 17-week-old husky doing well with Springer prong, but freaks when anyone comes close. Shrieks. Any advice?
So Becky, you've got a loud dog. you got one of those dogs that are really, really loud. What I would do right now is I would, and everybody likes a husky, right? So
And they all talk too.
they all talk. So a lot of huskies are loud, but what I would do is I would keep people now away from your dog. And it sounds like, well, how's the dog ever going to get used to them? This is the thing. Agreed. How's they going to get used to them? I want your dog to be around people, but not necessarily interacting with people. Next.
Okay. Jessica, how to get Husky to ignore cats? He has killed one previously. Neighbor's dog again.
All right. So, Jessica, why isn't your neighbor asking the question? I'm not trying to be a hard ass. Is this a priority for your neighbor, yes or no? So your neighbor should be on this. Your neighbor should be contacting me as well. I'm not trying to, I'll help you out as much as you want, but I want to make sure the neighbor is just as invested as you seem to be. I wish I had a freaking neighbor like you. They'd go up there right now and freaking yell at those kids that are blowing off fireworks, that's for sure. So with Husky, that dog needs to be remote collar trained and learn. It will get highly corrected. Even thinking about going after cats, we would actually put that dog into avoidance. So we keep that dog. If it's in the house, it's easier to do. It's out of the house, you got to go hunt for cats. But there's going to be a consequence for doing that. But you're being a great neighbor. Yes, you're definitely a special person. Next.
This one's from Holding On Dog Training.
Nice.
Thank you so much for inspiring us. I have my first paying client coming in 2 weeks and one pro bono rescue. You have given me so much confidence. Truly love you guys.
Thank you.
Love you too.
I'm super proud of you and keep going. And that's how I started, by the way. Next.
Joe says, love you guys.
Hey, Joe. Thanks. Love you too, buddy.
Oh, Martha. Hey, Martha.
Hey, Martha. Martha, we'll see you in October. Can't wait.
Hey, Jeff and Linda, bit the bullet and bought my ticket for T3 in October.
Oh, yeah. Yay. There you go. Yeah. Cool. Love you.
Jessica. Gotcha. Makes sense. And neighbors are asking for help, but also just curious for my own
Got it.
knowledge. I told them to consult a professional and sent them a few of your videos.
Awesome, Jessica. And remember, Jessica, if you already gave them some of my videos, right? And I'm easy to get a hold of, correct? So in a month from now, if they're like, well, we haven't called anybody yet, guess what? Why do you care more than them? Seriously, it's the same thing. Why do you care more than them? So, we live in a free market economy. The internet is wide and various, and I would put it on them. But I'm so glad that you at least are doing this much. Next.
None taken love. This is from Tommy E.
Oh,
None taken
what?
love you both. By the way, we went from Texas to Florida and did great.
Nice.
Others used other types of leashes, and it was great to see our Delta using manners and no pulling, etc. You are so correct with e-collar.
Awesome. Tommy E., proud of you. Good, nice road trip, too, by the way. I love Texas. Barbecue and guns. Next.
I will miss barbecue.
I know. I'll miss being able to buy as much freaking ammunition as I want.
Okay.
I remember I walked in the local Walmart, and I'm like, can I buy ammunition if I'm from out of state? And they're like, yeah. I said, is there a certain amount I can buy? And they're like, no, buy as much as you want. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, how much you got? Yeah. My RV, like the back of it, like was riding low. Right. Next.
Okay.
Stacy.
My 16-week puppy is almost 5 pounds. Is she too little for e-collar training?
Man, Stacy, that's a small dog. I would wait. Because there's no e-collar technology. It's like 16 weeks. So e-collar technology does not have a good small dog e-collar. It's supposedly on order. It's supposedly in the works. Until it's on the market, I won't believe it. What I would do right now, at 16 weeks old, I would do a ton. We do a ton of food training. So I would actually clicker food train that dog, keep a long line on the dog. That's what I would be doing right now. Next. Because there's really you don't really need to punish for any obedience. So I would hold off a little bit. Next.
Holly says, at Martha Carden, so worth all the bullets and sacrifice. You will reap tenfold benefit and value from attending T3.
Thank you.
This one's from Tiffany. When you get in a very aggressive dog that is muzzled upon arrival and you take that muzzle off, how do you get it back on without getting bit?
Tiffany, and not to be cocky, tons of dog training experience. Tons of handling of aggressive dogs. So I don't want to, we can say it very carefully, but it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. There's actually an art to it. We've done it. The only way you can really see it is you have to be there hands-on, and we'd have to have that dog with us. There's a lot of different variables to do it. There's a lot of different techniques. Right now, though, what I always suggest for folks is if you don't have a ton of experience working with aggressive dogs, don't. Because so many owners out there need help with dogs that would never even think of biting you. So I would say just be super careful. But how do we do it? We do it all the time. We just have a lot of dog handling experience. Next.
This one's from Melissa. Just quit my job as a dog walker to focus on slowly starting a balanced training business. Want to take it on the road like you, so you've been a huge inspiration. We'll join Patreon
Awesome,
soon.
Melissa. It's a great job. There's people all over this country that need help.
Missy May. Hey, Missy May. What's up? Hi, guys. You're both looking great. Patreon is awesome, by the way.
Hey, Missy. Proud of you. Proud of your new company name. Proud of your new life. So looking forward to keep it up with you.
Yeah, come pick me up, Missy May.
And I'll see you in Seattle.
Robin. Requested a Skype session a few days ago. Haven't heard from Jess yet. How long does it usually take to get one scheduled?
Huh. Takes less than 24 hours.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh. It was the weekend, though. But still. Grab me a pen,
Oh, yes.
please. Robin, I'm going to look right into that. I'm going to email her as soon as the show is over. Okay, Robin? Sorry about that. Apologies. Next.
Tommy E. People did come up and wanted to pet her. We said, no, please don't. She's in training.
Awesome.
They were not offended. Jeff, your advice is so great. Thank you again.
Awesome. That's great. That's great that people weren't offended. A lot of times they are.
Okay, next one's from Debbie. Hey, Debbie. Hi, Jeff. Ruby, my GS, is doing great. Cannot wait to see you in Austin.
Awesome to hear, Debbie.
Becky, thank you. Husky seems to be between sizes with prong. Better be slightly big or small?
On the Husky, if it's, you can try switching to the 225, but it's got so much fur on it, though. If it's so much fur, if you've got yourself, I forgot how old the Husky was, Becky's Husky. If it's, you can always make it a little, okay, so pushy, snotty dogs, it's better off a little bit snug. If you've got a dog that's a little bit nervous and fearful, better off a little bit loose. Also, if it's just growing, it'll grow into it. If it's the kind that has the center plate, what you can do is you can get the one that doesn't have the center plate, and you'll save half a size. Next. And you never have to go above 3 millimeter on those collars. So if you're working with one that's above 3 millimeter, it's too big. It's too big. Next.
This one's from Stan.
Hey,
Hi,
Stan.
Jeff. It's me again. I have a 2-year-old Doberman. He's a good dog all around. I take him to Home Depot everywhere. The problem I have is when I have company,
Yeah.
he's very aggressive towards
So
strangers.
it's probably real estate specific. So interior work in a home, dogs definitely act a little bit different than the exterior. So what I would do is this: I'd remote collar train your dog. Get yourself a remote collar, get your shock collar, and work on the place command. Work on your dog. Make sure it doesn't, if it's not allowed to rush the door. So if it starts, the sequence starts. People come over, they ring the doorbell, they knock on the door. If your dog charges it, that's when you start applying your first punisher right there. You make it suck to rush the door. Then what you do is you have your dogs go to places, go to a dog bed, go to a mat, relax, don't do any nonsense. If your dog breaks that, you can punish the dog for breaking command, only though once you've been working on it. So you don't punish for obedience until the dog absolutely knows it and is comprehensive in that. And then what I would do is right now get to exist around people without interacting with people. Next.
This one's from Jake.
Hey, Jake.
My dog can heel past a cat in a field she sees and even hold a downstay. However, as soon as that cat takes off, she goes into drive. Best fix?
Jake, man, that's because that's what drive is, man. I know, that's what drive is. So you make it suck to go after cats. Remote collar, and you want to start it at the beginning of the sequence. So it's going to be hard because unless you've got a lot of roaming cats, and then you sort of have to startle them so they run away. So what I would do is I would start using, see if you can use other things besides cat. Can you kick in your dog's drive? So if your dog's in a downstay, say, and if you rolled a tennis ball or a chuck it ball or a basketball or something by it, would it give chase? If it would, you start with that. So you sort of want to set it up on a repetitive behavior. But a running cat is different than all those things. You're still going to have to do it with a cat. Next.
Jamal. Hey,
Hey,
Jamal. Good evening, Gelman.
Jamal, I haven't heard
Good
from you
evening,
for a
Jamal.
while, buddy. Hope you're doing okay, and I hope your wife is your wife's doing okay. They're pregnant.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Love that.
Next.
Tommy E. LOL, we are headed back to Texas. We're in
Nice.
Mississippi now.
All right, Mississippi.
Sweet.
Mississippi's nice. I go through Mississippi. Next.
This one's from Keith. How do you punish properly? I know that's crucial, but what's considered improper punishment and how to do it properly?
So Keith,
Thank you.
so it depends on all what you're trying to do. But improper is, well, first of all, whenever you're using punishment, you're not yelling and you're not screaming, you're not angry. That's really, really important to establish. It's just matter of fact. That was wrong, don't do it. So it all depends on, you want to make something intolerable to the dog. What's intolerable? There's a lot of things that are intolerable. So for instance, we fix jumping up on counters, with a shock collar. It's the easiest, most effective thing to do. So dog goes up on the counter and we actually aren't even in the room. We use a remote collar on a very high level. Yes, it is very uncomfortable to the dog, but the dog can also die from getting something off the counter. And then what we do is the dog comes off the counter and you don't need to be there. So a lot of times what people do is they'll say the word no, but they don't really mean no. Or the dog stops doing it, but it keeps doing it over and over again, which means it wasn't proper. So it all depends on what you're actually trying to punish. If it's a life or death thing, or if it's just like lack of obedience, or if it's like blowing off a command. So we use different punishers for different things, but we can use a bonker, which is a towel. We can use a leash, which is just a leash correction. We can use a remote collar. I mean, some people use penny cans. You can use, people use throw change. There's a lot of things. Next.
This one's from Nina. Hi, need help crate training following separation anxiety protocol, but I'm still hostage. I cannot leave them alone for a minute. They calm down the second I come in the room. When do I correct? No e-collar.
So you get yourself an e-collar. So get yourself a proper e-collar, because then you can use it out of the room. You should not be being held hostage by your dog. So they need to learn proper punishment. Also, hold your dog accountable outside of the crate. So you should be working your dog on lots of commands. Next.
Okay, did you see that one, Jeff?
No.
Kaylee.
So Kaylee, for us to hear I requested a Skype but haven't heard of anything. Well, Kaylee, that's, again, I'll write you down. We've got a very, very simple protocol on how we do Skypes. So I don't recall hearing from you at all. We have a form online, and if we miss 2 forms, something's definitely wrong, because that would be highly unusual, because that's how I actually make a living. So if you filled out a form, and it's a contact form, and you fill in Skype, Jessica should get back to you right away. So again, what I would do is I would find out what the heck is going on, because we're very prompt at that. Our customer service is incredible. So let me find out. If you just casually email me or Facebook message me, I might not see those. But if you filled out the form, Jessica, who does the scheduling, actually sees them. Or if you emailed me, I probably sent you to the website. So we've got a very strict protocol. Again, apologies. I'll look into it. And I'm seriously going to look into it, because that's how we make, that's our business. Next.
Nina also says, just joined Patreon, posted there. Sorry, posting everywhere.
That's okay.
Need help.
So Nina, today I do my my Q&A on Patreon. Make sure you put it under the Q&A. We just got there's a little dollar, guys. There's a little dollar sign at the bottom of your little thing there. You can actually become a super chatter. So Joe just does a super chat. So his question goes right up to the top. So go ahead and ask, Joe.
I don't have his question here, probably because I'm not logged in. So just turn the screen. I have a blue pitty with prey drive. Looking into e-collar training, I was told that it would make him more aggressive and that he would become complacent. What do you think? Currently on the prong.
Okay, so Joe, thanks for the $10. You were lied to. Okay, so an e-collar, could it make a dog aggressive? Let me just a couple of things, Joe. Every single dog that comes into us, we specialize in aggression rehab. They've 90% of them have not been on remote collars before. The e-collar didn't make the dog aggressive. Now, Could it make the dog more reactive? Sure, if you underwhelm the dog. But if you are struggling with your dog with prey drive, an e-collar is the best thing to be using. So, but it's really weird because you were told that he would become complacent. Like, don't we want him? Don't we want him to become complacent? So your dog will, like every dog that comes into our facility, 100% of dogs that come into our facility are remote collar trained. Every single one of them. Why? We feel it's the best way to train a dog. They're fantastic. And we've got so many free videos. And you don't have to go to us. You can actually learn it on your own. So you were lied to. Next.
Okay, this one is from Stephanie. Got a 9-week-old puppy and doing tons of positive reinforcement training.
Awesome.
Just wondering, at what point in age do you go from just positive reinforcement to correcting for not complying with commands?
So we do, by the way, we do clicker food training, guys. That's how we start off every dog. Aggressive dog rehab, we clicker and food train them. So in 9 weeks old, though, you're going to go at least until 16 weeks of lots and lots of food training and marker training, clicker training, before you start correcting for unwanted, for obedience. Next.
Becky asks, what are your thoughts on marker training?
Every dog we've ever trained has been marker trained. Everybody does marker training. Everybody does. Everybody does yes, no training. So we're huge advocates of marker training. That's the core. That's one of the core foundations. That's how you train dogs how to do stuff and to not do stuff. Teaching them what yes means, teaching them what no means. So every dog trainer, I imagine, uses marker training, even if they don't know what it is. Like that's how dogs. That's what we do. So we're obviously huge fans of it. We don't necessarily call it marker training, but that's what we're doing. Next.
This one's from Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany.
I bought the trick training videos, and my, I guess 18-month-old lab is doing awesome.
Yep.
She has hit it down, and we're working on Sit Pretty.
Awesome.
If anyone wants to trick train their dog or clients' dogs, buy it.
Thanks, Tiffany. If everybody wanted, what Tiffany did was, first of all, thank you so much. She went to Cool Dog Tricks, cooldogtricks.com, and she bought I think it's like $20. You learn 12 tricks. So awesome. Thanks for the support.
Let's see.
Yep.
Vincent.
Hey, Vincent.
Hey, Jeff, we have a Skype tomorrow, and when I contacted Jessica, who was super helpful and prompt, she said she hadn't seen everything. Seems there might be an issue with the form.
I'll take a look, but as far as your Skype, I don't have my calendar in front of me now, but I think I saw one from 6:30 to 7:30. So are you from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 5:30 to 6:30? So I saw something scheduled for later that I think is your name, if I recall, because I just looked at my schedule. Next.
Shady Optics.
Yep.
Dog growls when try to pet when she is tired.
Don't pet your dog when it's tired. Seriously, don't. Leave your dog alone. Just leave your dog alone. You got to see, like, her. First thing in the morning, I try to do a reach around, I get an elbow to the ribs. So leave the dog alone. Next.
Comparing me to a dog?
I'm comparing a dog's growl to your growl. You sort of growl a little bit.
You're in the dog house. It's Mac.
Next.
Keith, which days and times do you have the Q&A sessions on YouTube?
I try to do them Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I try really hard. I'm not always in town. And the Zeke, hello to you. Next.
Tommy E. Robin, could you repost the Addy again? I didn't write it down before you took it down.
Next.
No, thanks. Snowfoot21. My dog still struggles with whining. I'll correct with e-collar, and sometimes it'll stop, and sometimes he'll yelp from it and whine more instead of stopping. What can I do?
So Snowfoot, that's hard. You have to find the right level. You got to figure out what the right level is, and there's no correct number. But as far as yelping, like, we're not concerned about yelping, and sometimes there's surprise, sometimes there's discomfort. You got to have to sort of fish around and figure it out. And every once in a while, you've got to just, if your dog's in a crate whining, you just got to go over to the crate and just, bop the top of it. But the remote collar is one of the best things for whining. You sort of got to figure out what the right level, though, is. Next.
Vincent.
5:30 to
His Skype is
6:30.
5:30
Yep,
to
awesome.
6:30.
Next.
Tiffany. Ha 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 ha, Linda.
Okay.
Yeah. Hashtag funny, not funny. It's funny, but it's not.
Next.
Michelle, Jeff, your parachute has turned into a knapsack. LOL. Great show as always.
Aw,
Thanks.
thanks, Michelle. Michelle, man, I missed you in Collingwood. Next.
Robin G, rescuing shelter animals at gmail.com.
Right.
Tommy E, thank you. Okay, let's keep it moving. We got nothing else yet.
Yeah.
It is 9:30.
Yeah, so actually, Robin, that email, I've got a moderator on this. That website was deleted just because we don't allow posting of other people's websites, just because we don't know anything about them at all. So that's just one of the policies that I have, Robin. So please don't take it personally. And looks like Tommy was able to get it, so that's really good. But just to let people know is we don't know where these websites go. We don't know who owns these websites. We don't know their philosophy on training at all. And it's not that we're trying to not help people with resources, but we just I've got a moderator on this that literally sits in the back, not in the back physically here, remotely, and she monitors all this stuff because there's a lot of nonsense on there. Yep. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Tommy, you didn't do anything wrong.
Missy May says, I haven't seen this last week's Patreon Q&A. I know you have been busy.
Missy, it went up today. All right. All right, guys. It's been an hour and 1 minute and 18 seconds. Thank you so much for putting up with all of our nonsense. It's a pleasure to have you all here. And you're all special to me. I'm madly in love with you. And I will see you next Monday. I'm actually in town for a couple of months. I've got to go out to Seattle to do a fantastic seminar out there. And you can go to rvdogtrainer.com to get tickets for that. All right. Love you guys so much. You're all special. And thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Come to Cleveland. That's my hometown. Find a seminar location, and I will be there. Love you. Actually, I can probably do one in Canton now because I've got a location. All right. Love you.